Okay, let's do this. Antonia Kuzmanić.
Yes.
Yes,
Nice. Very Croatian.
Yeah. We are here at Valve. I'm Timo. This is Antonia. We are talking about your piece, which is a lot harder to pronounce than your name. Can you kind of say it without?
I can say it in English. So it's C8H11NO2, which is a chemical formula for dopamine.
Yeah. And we are here to talk about that piece and how you came to do that piece and what's it's been like. So, let's talk.
Let's talk. So first, thank you for having us here, because we never did one-on-one.
Yeah.
And we actually never did it like this, to take one piece of performance and have a new version of it. So just to explain, like, our piece is originally contemporary circus performance, which is intended for theater, places, black box, tents, whatever. And then for one-to-one, when we were applying, we decided to take just my solo, which is talking about identity. And in this other piece, also talking about anxiety, and to try to do it for one audience member. And then here we changed the original idea, and we created a new system, like 2 machines that offer the audience of one an opportunity to quickly, in also a fun way, very plastic, very sculptural way to change identity of my face. Here, but we also know this from before, that people have a problem for it in a more emotional way, because it looks that it's painful and that they are going to hurt me, but it's actually not painful for me. Nobody is hurting me while doing this, and I give my permission to do it.
Yes.
So we had a lot of, in these 2 days, a lot of discussion afterwards about like power dynamics, trust, also the feelings of inside coming outside, also kind of remembering or reminding ourselves that actually we influence everybody that we meet.
Yes.
From the person that gives us coffee in the coffee place to the person that are part of our life. And that we should be more aware that we are influencing others, how they look, and also how they look from the inside, how they feel. So that was all the things that we were talking while creating this piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's strange that you, that you said, this is our first one-to-one piece for you personally, and then for Room 100, which is for you and Jakov.
Labrović.
Yes. Your
colleague,
collective, yeah. It's also like first one-to-one piece. Somehow strange, because this kind of seems to be very strongly in the kind of performance tradition that is related to power dynamics, which is like some kind of vein going through from the 70s that has been explored, kind of at least in some like performances that have gained like some popularity and are mentioned often when you read about one-to-one. You hear these pieces where the artist is there's a possibility to hurt the artist, or there are different objects you can use to the artist, and it's up to the audience to decide what happens. There are different kind of lot of performances that have to do with body and things coming out of your body, like blood and other things, spit and stuff like that. So there's the kind of tradition in that sense. Somehow this piece that lines from your face, that the machine that the audience can operate, that the machine stretches the lines and your face really, really stretches, and what power the audience member uses there to really affect your face. It seems to be very much in the kind of tradition, so it's kind of it's just like, as you said, it's really new because it's new to us, because you kind of, it felt that, okay, you are well kind of in the tradition and kind of
yeah, but I mean, what I like working with Jakov, I mean, it's not an easy collaboration. We know each other for like many years, like 20, and we have been working more or less intensively in these 20 years. Is that he's the author of our works.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like kind of like a sidekick, like
okay.
a Robin.
Yeah.
But I like that he's not very like thinking, okay, this has to fit, this has to be contemporary circus. This has to be performance arts.
Yeah.
He's exploring what he is interested at this moment, and then he's using different things and skills that we have as a contemporary circus artist, and he's actually originally a sculpture artist. So he's mixing everything, and he's not really like he doesn't feel this weight of, okay, I need to fit into this box. That's what I like. That's why I like working with him, because like I never know what is going to happen and in which direction we are going to go, but somehow it's always feel very fresh to me. And that's like nice.
I asked Jakov that in this conversation, what would be important to say and what is this piece about? And he said that, you could talk about identity. That's the thing. So this piece and identity, what do you want to say about it?
But this thing that I already mentioned in beginning, that like identity is very fragile. And a lot of things, a lot of small meetings and encounters can influence who you are as a person. For example, I remember how much, like, for me as a young adult, I think I was like 14 when I met Jakov. And then when I was 18, I kind of decided not to go through like a traditional way of young people, like finish high school, go to the university, find a job. I finished high school and decided to like be a contemporary circus artist, which is not very common practice in Croatia. And my parents were very like shocked and afraid of the future. And then I have Jakov as like a colleague and a steady person next to me saying, but like you should just try it and see if you can manage to do it. And like, I just remember how important for me, for my identity as like a young person, it was important to have him and his influences on me to say like, maybe you should just try it. And if you fail, you can always go back to university. Like you don't need to live with this notion of what would happen if I was brave enough in this part of life. So this is what we are exploring, like how much we are influencing other persons, but also really trying to make people aware that we should really be kind to other people, not only friends and families and people that we know. We should be kind to any people we meet in just like a regular day, because you never know what is going on inside of each person. And you don't know if just saying, like, if just opening door to somebody or like giving a smile like to a bartender, it can really like be a strong, important moment in their life, because you don't know what is happening with a majority of people inside. And like, I know that like I personally, I'm like a double Scorpio who doesn't like want to show emotions. I know that like I'm keeping a lot of things inside. So I just know from my point of view, like that I'm like very like distant from people and I'm not easy to show emotions. So I can just imagine how many other people are like this.
You always forget kind of that how much there is.
And this piece is like what is I like a lot, because it's so powerful, because you have a physical motion that has a physical reaction. And then it's like a punch in the face that, okay, I do something, I'm doing something, there is a reaction. But with words, like when you are not doing something physical to another person, you don't have this immediate reaction.
Yeah.
Or it's not obvious. So it's easy to forget that we should be kind to one another. And it's like in this type of world that we are now living with a lot of wars and genocides and like all of this thing, it's very hard to remember that like being kind is very punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, it's nice that you are talking about kindness, since the piece itself, at least for many, it's really hard to see another person's face stretched. Like it's,
Yeah, I think also of like maybe for female gender, it's a bit like more aggressive because we live in a world where like outside beauty and like this all the Instagram influencing what is beauty and what is nice is very strong and present today, that like I'm giving complete like opposite. I'm like giving an opportunity for somebody to destroy my face, but it's not permanent.
Yeah, it was really important that you said that it doesn't hurt, and this is about that you kind of say in the beginning of the performance that it somehow has a theme that we really I don't remember the exact words that you say in the beginning of the performance, but that each meeting can really be meaningful to us and can really affect us, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's very important to give this what is to say consent. That it's okay and it's not going to hurt me.
Yeah. Although then there's all this visual, seeing the other person's face stretched and feeling the buttons, and you can push this and you hear the clicks of the buttons and you can kind of manipulate the face of the other person. It is somehow, it's so visual, so it kind of somehow, at least for me, it kind of goes past all thinking, but still was kind of important to have this, that okay, this is a kind of good theme, doesn't hurt, important, and somehow I felt like mainly sadness. It wasn't for me. It wasn't like terrible. What's happening to the face? It was more like I don't know. I became sad. I don't know why, but it's really sad about. I don't know what.
Maybe just because you're in the middle of the festival. No, it's going to finish what I'm going to do on Monday.
No, I was just I don't know. About what it's like to be with people, which is super nice. But yeah, I was sad, so maybe there's something to be sad about too. That was that I felt there, but I'm happy that you had a chance. Maybe we see other one-to-one pieces from you in the future, if this was a
hopefully
good experience.
We were spending our like free time talking about what next we can do. So we have some ideas. So it has been very inspiring for us to be here.
Oh, great. Yeah. I feel that it might be time to close the microphones and start carrying some boxes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Timo.
Thanks, Antonia.